Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Now, yesterday we know that there was a shooting in El Paso, Texas. But there was another one as well. Another shooting in Ohio, in Dayton, Ohio, killing 9 people, injuring 16 others. Also dead is the shooter. Now, right now, there's not a lot of information on what took place in Ohio. So I'm going to focus on the shooting that was all over the news yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon. And that was the attack on a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. 20 people lay dead, including an infant. Why? Because a racist son of a bitch decided he was going to go all the way from Allen, Texas, all the way down to El Paso, who, according to his manifesto that is attributed to him at this point, he wanted to kill as many Mexicans as possible as retribution for this so-called Mexican invasion. Who invented this whole Mexican invasion term? Or at least who brags about it? One Donald J. Trump. In his manifesto, he cites Donald Trump, the former leader of the KKK, David Duke, and other racist figures, including the guy who went in and murdered people in a church. Went into a church and killed people. Dylan Roof. And this guy? This guy was inspired by the attack in Christchurch, New Zealand. You want to explain to me how this hate is allowed to exist? There's no excuse. America, we have to do something. We have to do something now. I don't know the solution. I know the solution isn't taking everyone's guns away. But I also know that the current status quo cannot continue. Something has to happen. Something has to be done. And don't even get me started on the false flag bullshit that some of y'all are already trying to peddle. I've already seen it. People talking about globalists being involved in it. Bullshit. It's a white supremacist. That's what this is. It is racism. And as much as Donald Trump may be using the phrase Mexican invasion, and this kid as well, Donald Trump is a symptom. Donald Trump is not the cause. Donald Trump is the symptom. But his rhetoric has led to this. People killing Mexicans and Hispanics that happen to live here in the country. It's disgusting. Luckily, they took him alive so they can talk to him. Part of me wishes they hadn't, because I don't really care what the fucker has to say. I don't know, America. I really don't know anymore. Do we even care about people? Do we care about life at all? I see a number of pro-lifers out there, either on Facebook or in some of my comment sections, talking about how life, the sanctity of life, yet we do nothing to protect it once it's out of the womb. Healthcare, screw that. Safety in your schools, screw that. The ability to go to a mall or a Walmart to shop for clothing for your upcoming school year, Screw that. But of course, all you're going to see this morning as you wake up and turn on the news, you're going to see politicians grandstanding about their agenda, about how we can't get rid of any guns, or we have to get rid of all the guns. It kind of reminds me of a question that Keemstar asked on Twitter. Ban all guns? Don't ban all guns. He's talking about how both the left and the right have it wrong. And my response was there has to be something in the middle between banning all guns and letting guns be freely handed out across the country. What's the solution, people? Do you see the solution? Because I sure don't freaking see it. "20 people lay dead because of a racist son of a bitch." I'm done being nice on the topic. I'm tired of mincing words. So if you're offended by anything I said in this video, language included, I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass. 20 Americans are dead. 9 more are dead in Ohio, and we continue to do nothing about gun violence in this country. The attack in El Paso was racially motivated. We know that for a fact. It doesn't make any sense to me. But you know what? Things like this don't make sense. There's no sense to make. Because hate and racism, they don't care. They don't care who they hurt. That's all hate does, though. It fosters more hate. As another YouTuber here closes off a lot of his tweets with, "No hate needed, just love." Keep that in mind. But as you send your family out to work today, school, be sure you tell them you love them. Because you don't know. You never know. And I know for a fact today was a very hard morning for me. I had to send my wife to work, who happens to work at a Walmart. And I couldn't stand to see it. But this could happen anywhere. It could happen at any business, any establishment. But 20 families are ruined. 20 families have been destroyed. One family lost their infant daughter or child. I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl. But America, what's the point? How are people going to spin this? How are the gun advocates going to spin it? How's the left going to spin it? The left will spin it, all gun owners are bad people. And the right will spin it, we need more guns. Guns are the answer. First off, I know lots of gun owners. Maybe it's because I live in Texas. And none of the gun owners I know would go walk into a Walmart and gun down 20 people. So it's not all gun owners. But we also live in Texas. The shooting took place in Texas. One of the most gun happy states in the Union. We have open carry, we have concealed carry. And the whole thing from the right is a good guy with a gun will stop a bad guy with a gun. Well, where was the good guy with a gun? In the state that has more guns than most other states. Where you have the freedom to have a gun pretty much anywhere you go except maybe a bank and to go into a courthouse. Clearly, a good guy with a gun did not try to stop the bad guy with a gun. Maybe there wasn't one there, or maybe they were there cowering in fear for their lives. Or they were too busy trying to protect their family and get their family out. But the answer is that guns don't solve the problem. More guns don't solve the problem. Blaming all gun owners does not solve the problem. The problem is we allow every single person on the face of this nation to own a gun. No matter how screwed up they are in the head, no matter how violent they are, how much hate they have in their body. We let anybody have a gun. No matter their temperament, no matter their ability to pass any kind of safety training. You can literally just walk into a store, wait whatever time it is you have to wait, and boom, you have a gun. I'm no advocate for guns. I hate guns, to be honest with you. I can't stand them. But I know a lot of people love guns. I have family that hunts with them, protects their families with them. But something has to be done. I am so sick and tired of what feels like weekly waking up and hearing another story about another family who's been ripped apart by gun violence. Whether through accidental shootings or mass shootings like this, it doesn't matter. Something has to happen. Somebody has to call it out for what it is. And I can tell you right now, it is not normal. It is not right. To the people in the political sphere, Donald Trump, Republicans, Democrats, be careful with your freaking rhetoric. Because your rhetoric of Mexican invasions and how they're only sending rapists, drug dealers, and murderers led to 20 Americans dead in El Paso. That's what your rhetoric brought us. Your political rhetoric of hate towards a group of people led to this problem. Now, I'm not going to blame everybody in Congress, because not everybody speaks that rhetoric. Not everybody speaks like that. But you sure as hell don't see them standing up and calling it out every day. I'm sorry. If a president speaks hateful rhetoric, it should be called out on national news. It should be on headlines across the country. how he is spewing hateful rhetoric. Just like if it happened from a congressman. But when it comes from the President of the United States, the Congress needs to step in and say, hey, that ain't right. But we don't do that. We're cowards. Republicans and Democrats are scared of Donald Trump. But you know what? It's your duty to keep the president in line. To the ladies and gentlemen in the Congress, it is your job to keep the president in line. That's your job. Do it. It's also your job to take care of the American people. The American people are tired of these shootings. The American people are tired of having to live in fear every time they go out of their damn house. Every time they go to the store, a restaurant, a movie. We should not have to live like this. In fact, we were one of the few countries in the modern world that face this on a daily basis. There are countries where you have things like this constantly. But they're usually run by drug lords and things like that. In parts of the world where tolerance is not a virtue, is not known. But I beg my fellow Americans, be tolerant of other people. Be tolerant of other views. Be tolerant of other races. You know, throughout my lifetime, I've seen a lot of these shootings. All the way back to 96, I believe it was. In the Pearl, Mississippi shooting, I believe it was. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Columbine. Sandy Hook. Las Vegas. That just names a few. If you're tired of this crap like I am, say something. Write your congressman. Write the president and tell him to shut up with his hateful rhetoric. Because it's inspiring people. I don't really think, though, that Donald Trump intended that. I don't believe Donald Trump said that Mexicans are rapists, murderers, and drug dealers. Or refer to it as an invasion with the intent that somebody would go and kill somebody. So I want to make it very clear that yes, Donald Trump's rhetoric played a role. But Donald Trump did not intend anyone to get murdered, I do not believe. I can't believe that, because he's the President of the United States. I cannot for the life of me believe that a president would want Americans to be killed. Or have a city terrorized like that. But the rhetoric doesn't help. The rhetoric inspires people like this. So instead of the hateful rhetoric that we're sending towards the people at the southern border, how about we show a little compassion, a little love, a little dignity? Quit treating them as if they're subhuman. I really don't know what else to tell you. This is the longest video I've made in a long time. And I know it may have been full of rambling. But I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. My hope is that we will learn from this sooner or later. Unfortunately, I feel that I will no longer be here by the time we figure it out. Or I will have lost a loved one to the same stupid violence that all these other people have lost loved ones to. We have to do something. This has got to stop. And to be honest with you, if you're not as devastated by these attacks and by the shooting in El Paso as I am, then I don't have anything I can say for you. If the fact that a little infant was murdered does not break your heart, does not rip you apart from the inside, then maybe you need to go figure something out. Maybe you have a problem. I don't believe caring is a problem. I don't believe loving your other human beings is a problem. But I think violence and murder are a problem. So I've tried to make this video as apolitical as possible, because there's a lot of blame to go around on the rhetoric and the lack of action. But you know, something has to change. We can't keep living like this. We can't keep doing this week in, week out. When I have more information on the shooting in Ohio, I'll bring that to you. Now, one reason that I just kind of let loose in this video and didn't care really the words that came out of my mouth was because this video won't be monetized anyway, whether or not I asked it to be or not. But the fact is, I'm devastated by this. Another major attack in my home state. Wasn't that long ago that I was sitting here in Nacogdoches, Texas, as I sat there in a Panda Express restaurant, staring at the TV above my head as 26 people, I believe it was, were gunned down, or 20 some odd people were gunned down at a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. And now it's happened again, another year. It's pathetic. It's just disgusting. And how we allow this to continue, I don't know. But anyhow, this has been the Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road. If you have a chance, to donate to like the Red Cross or anybody like that that's actually down there helping the families, please do. If I come across any information for GoFundMe's or anything like that, I will share them on Twitter, or I'll come back and put them in the links in the description below. My condolences, my sympathies, and my prayers go out to the families of the victims. I don't know what else to say, America.